Welcome back. This is Sports Chat with Nat and Master T. How y'all doing?
Hey, y'all.
Listen, we want to thank y'all. We thank y'all for watching. Y'all made me feel good Sunday. Y'all watch with me. Some of y'all even made your comments. I will announce all of the entrants into the gift card giveaway. So we welcome you back to this edition, the first edition of
Hire, and retire.
And thank you, Candace, for the tip and the suggestion of this segment. Yes, my daughter suggested this segment, Fire, Hire, Retire, about the middle of the season. And we thank you for that. So we have a list of all of the coaches that were fired. Go, Master T.
Drum roll, please. Starting off with my one thing. Starting off this, and I just did it in the order. I think they did about a alphabetical order. So obviously it starts with my team. Arthur Smith was fired from the Atlanta Falcons on literally midnight of Black Monday, as we all know it as. Bill Belichick is now officially not a Patriots coach. Josh McDaniels was fired as the Raiders head coach in the middle of this, almost towards the end of the season. Pete Carroll's out of the Seahawks head coaching job. Ron Rivera of Washington Commanders. Frank Rich of the Panthers, who was gone, was the first casualty of the coaches leaving in the middle of the season, being fired.
And the only coach to be fired twice in the middle of the season, 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row, fired in the middle of the season.
Was he the Colts coach before? Yeah, that's why I was like, that was a coach. Oh, yeah. So,
yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And finally, Brandon Stanley, which was the Chargers head coach, who was also fired in the middle. Well, we'll say more towards the end of the season.
Right.
Yeah. So,
okay. So now, like we just said, Frank Reich. Now, Atlanta has already hired their coach.
Oh my gosh. So we're gonna start with my team. So Atlanta Falcons, we have hired Raheem Morris as our new head coach. Now, everybody, when I tell you, when I was reading all the stuff, commentators, the NFL players, everybody has said, yo, this was a good move. A lot of people like this. It also works for us because Raheem Morris knows us very well, because if you didn't know, he was our offensive coordinator? He was also interim head coach when Dan Quinn got fired in the middle of the season, which Arthur hardly fired somebody in the middle of the season. Don't know why he did Dan Quinn like that, but hey, that's another story. But he was also offensive coordinator under defensive. That's right. Why am I thinking this? Defense. No, he was defensive coordinator for us too in the middle of. He's been on our team. So there's been offensive coordinator, because Mohamed Sanu, who used to be one of our wide receivers, has said he will come under and coach for him if he asks him to. So we've had a lot of good things. A lot of people like him. They're very, very excited for him. I'm excited to see what he does. I mean, for our interim head coach, he was a little shaky, but at the end of the day, I mean, he was like 4-7 when he came after Dan Quinn. But he's had more time, all this other stuff, so we get a chance to see what it is. And
and when he left you guys, he went to the Rams, and he was the defensive coordinator when they won their Super Bowl.
Yes.
And so he was hired to replace. Okay, then he hired Arthur Smith to replace Raheem, and now he's coming back. Now, I'll say this. Belichick got interviewed twice, and somebody else got interviewed, but I knew Belichick won't come into Atlanta for a couple of reasons.
What are your reasons, so I can say
the main reason was it's Chocolate City, okay? He won't come into Chocolate City. Second, he wanted to have more control over the team than they was willing to give up. Okay?
Yes.
So Belichick's reputation is tarnished because he ran Tom Brady out of New England. And a lot of players don't want to fool with him because they don't trust him anymore. Because if you can throw away Tom Brady, why are we going to trust you with our careers if you throw away the GOAT?
Okay. So when I will say for this hiring with it, and we gonna say for Bill Belichick, I'm gonna call I should have had a little sign that said retire.
Yeah, he needs to retire. That's
what we're gonna say that Bill Belichick needs to retire. The reason why I say this is true. One, it is true. Bill Belichick definitely had a thing with the Falcons. People kind of thought that he was coming here, and the reason why is because Arthur Blank wanted Bill Belichick. Mm-hmm. Now, the front office kind of stopped that. And the reason why I think it happened was because one of the reasons that Ms. Natalie said, which is true, that Bill Belichick wants more control of the team. And Bill Belichick, it could have been a good thing for us in a sense, is going to make the Falcons spend some money because we do need some better quarterbacks and stuff. So he probably would have done that. But one reason why I think it may be a little bit difficult for Bill Belichick to actually get onto a team is for the simple fact is a lot of people know that Bill Belichick is really only staying into this so he can beat Don Shula's winningest coach record. Don Shula has 328 wins. Bill Belichick is number 3 on this list of being at 30. Hold up. I had it 302.
I think it's so too, because that
302. So he is pretty much 26 games away, which if he did 2 seasons, he's pretty, if they did all 18 games straight and he won them, that's pretty much 2 seasons. So people kind of know he's not going to be there for that long, maybe about 2-3 seasons. And I don't think that somebody wants to be able to have him that short of a period of time and then like turn over and do this process again.
But not only that, Belichick does not bring any energy. I don't like his energy. Andy Reid is an older coach, but he got some energy. He got some swagger.
He's so cute. His facial expressions be like
Pete Carroll was the oldest coach in the league, but he could outrun some of the players. So Belichick brings no life. Belichick, he brings wisdom, but it's not what's the word I'm looking for? He's not relatable anymore.
I think Bill Belichick should be almost like, if anything, I think if they were going to do it, I think he should have almost like the position that kind of like Pete Carroll, what the Seahawks did for Pete Carroll in a sense, like make him like what was it? Like a contract. Yeah. Like what is Pete Carroll now?
I don't know, but I
not contractor, but he still kind of is going to be in the Seahawks, like kind of helping out in a sense of the organization. Okay. But anyway, back to the Patriots. Well, I guess that's pretty much. Anything else you got to say about my Falcons? I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
I don't think the Patriots want him around because Robert Kraft trusted him, and he told Robert Kraft that Tom couldn't play anymore. And that's why they let him go. And Kraft don't trust him no more because he lied. Because Tom was great to Tampa Bay and won a Super Bowl. So his relationship with the Patriots is over. And speaking of the Patriots,
I was about to say, let's move down back to the Patriots, who did an amazing thing in NFL, Patriots history, that they hired Jared Mayo. And as you guys don't know, Jared Mayo is the first African-American head coach of the Patriots.
Yep.
So.
And he played for Belichick. He's been under Belichick for years. And it was already in his contract that he would replace Belichick. I thought that was sweet.
That's really interesting too, because because literally after Bill Belichick left, they already knew immediately, like the next day they had said it already. So They already had his successor. So it's going to be interesting to see how he coaches and to see how it did it. Now, honestly, I kind of think the Patriots did it right, where they kind of already knew who their successor was going to be with it.
Yes,
so
good move like on that regard. Now,
we'll give him a clap on that one. So good hire. We'll say we have 2 good hires so far. If this was a sign, I would do it. So
we need a sign. Let me make one. What's next? Carolina?
No, I have actually, since I went on the order, we're gonna go to Josh McDaniels next with the Raiders. Now, I'm super excited that what they did, but I'm not happy at how long it took. So the Raiders have hired Antonio Pierce, who was their interim head coach while after they fired Josh McDaniels. Now, the problem that I did have, what I said was why I'm kind of like why it took so long, was that they knew that they was going to hire AP. They should have done like how the Patriots did and said, bam, just,
yeah,
we just already have the job filled, because I don't understand why you hired, like you went through the interview process with other head coaches when that's a person you knew, your team wanted him, your players, everybody. So it's kind of like you should have did it. Also, let's rewind this for a second, because honestly, the Falcons did the exact same thing.
Hold up. Do you just want the word good? Can you see that? No. Or do you want good hire? Or just
good hire? That's what I was thinking. Good hire. So while Miss Natalie's still making her sign, the Falcons did the exact same thing to Raheem Morris. So what happened was when they fired Dan Quinn and Raheem Morris was our interim coach, he actually applied to be our head coach that next season. But what did they do? They hired Arthur Smith instead, when they really should have. So I kind of think the Falcons are kind of going back to be like, hey, we messed up with that hire. But also it might have worked out in our favor. Let Raheem go off and get some more, coaching experience. You got a Super Bowl under your belt. Come back up to us and do it. So we'll go back to, so sorry, I had to go back. Had that part. But yes, back to Antonio Pierce. Are we almost finished with our sign? We gonna put up a nice good hire after this one.
Hold on, I'm making my sign real quick. Good hire. So
yes,
this good hires.
We have 2 good hires that we are excited for. I'm excited to see Antonio Pierce this season, with like a whole entire season. We'll say next season because we're still in this season. For it, the players loved him. Like you could see the heart of how they played so much harder, because honestly, the Raiders had one of the highest scoring games. Ooh, dang, that was when the Chargers fired. Oh, they fired Josh Stanley after that game.
Yes,
when the Raiders just was killing, and I mean killing the Chargers. Woo! Go back and watch that game. That was a good game. What was that? Week? I think that was week 15.
I think that's what got him hired.
Week 15. Sorry, guys. I'm like looking. Good hire, clap.
Okay, so that was Atlanta, good hire.
And we're gonna
Patriots, good hire.
Good hire. Yep. And we're gonna say Raiders, good hire.
All right.
We are all for
who else was a good hire? Is that it?
We've only on 3 now.
Okay, what's next? Who's next?
Next, we have Pete Carroll, who was, not Pete Carroll, but we are on the Seahawks, who have still yet to pick a head coach at this time.
Yeah.
So they're still, at this point in time, they're still up in the air, which is, it's fine. It takes a minute. And plus,
I think Pete was tired of not winning. I think they were tired of him not winning. I think he had some juice left in the tank, but I don't know. I think the fact
that man was crying at that when they told him that he was fired. He wanted to coach more. He had some more in the tank. So, and how he thanked his wife, which was you guys, that was such a beautiful, I've never seen somebody leave it like that. And Pete Carroll deserved his flowers with that one. I think he could have played more with it. I think he probably could have made them go get another, I don't want to say another championship, but they could have made it to playoffs with it. So I think he could have.
All right.
I think they could have made it thing. So Seahawks, as of today, they're still hiring. Now, I will say one thing too, is that they're probably still waiting to see what coaches like after Super Bowl are actually going to be available.
I'm glad you said that. And I meant to say this at the beginning. Let me get really serious for a moment. I realize that the teams that have fired coaches need to hire coaches. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't think the process should start until after the Super Bowl.
I totally agree on that too.
Because any good coach that you want is on a team that's still playing in the playoffs, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
The coordinator of the offense or the defense, special teams, something. I think it's almost like tampering to call them in for an interview and they're prepping for a playoff or championship game. I just think they supposedly can't interview till a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
Your team ain't going to the playoffs. Ain't no need for you to be interviewing nobody nowhere. You can't do nothing. So I think I gotta stay calm. Woosah.
You guys, I'm sorry, my mic is on the side right there.
I think you need to just wait until the Super Bowl is over and then start the interviewing processes for all of the coaching vacancies. Yes,
it's true. I mean, the only reason I would say that they tried not to is because, which is true, because I mean, we wait till the players finish and free agency happens in March, that they have enough time after Super Bowl to do it. But I guess in the sense in their minds, they're like, well, we need to start this process early. But free agency ends in March.
The offensive coordinator and defensive coordinators for teams still playing, they got interviews. You can't prepare for an interview and prepare for a playoff game at the same time.
That's true.
That doesn't make sense. That's just not fair. It puts the coach at a disadvantage. And it puts your team at a disadvantage because you're not getting the best version of the coach.
Also, at the same time, it may think in the sense like they'll be like, well, dang, they're leaving us.
And it's a distraction to the team. So, but that being said, we didn't have our sign. I'm so sorry. Bill Belichick.
Retire.
Now, Pete Carroll, we really don't want you to retire. But
we don't.
We don't.
We don't.
But you could, because you've done enough.
You've done enough, Pete.
You could.
And you know what? Let me see how many wins he's had on his.
He could.
Oh, he's number 14. He's had only 170 wins.
Okay, so yeah.
Wow, really?
But his energy, his
energy is amazing.
It's just priceless. Okay, next.